Hey there, toy collector friends and fans of science fiction films alike. Welcome back to the channel. I am the Triple TC, that's the time traveling toy collector, and today we are looking at the Nebuchadnezzar from the Matrix film series, as produced by Master Replicas, and this is huge. It's much bigger than I expected in terms of the box that came through. It's again, I saw it advertised on their website, and I think they sent me an email to let me know it was available for pre-order, etc. And because I am part of the Master Replicas membership club thing, you get a discount. And I thought, well, actually, it's probably going to be a bit like one of the Star Trek starships. It might be about this size, folks. It really isn't. It's huge. So I'll just, that's the product shot on the front. Again, a little tour of the box, just Nebuchadnezzar. There's not really anything there. There's not really much to talk about here. There's a little bit of text around on this side, which I'll let you have a look at. There you go. So it's, of course, a hovercraft, a relatively, I'd say futuristic, but in the context of the film, is it futuristic? I'm not going to say anything if people haven't seen the film, although by now I'm sure you have. But if you haven't, I'm saying nothing. But yeah, and there's another product shot. Again, the side, same product shot. In the back, we just have the required legal shenanigans. So essentially, it's a hefty thing. The box itself has, if I have to put it this way, the box itself has one of those sort of magnetic clasps, so it opens up this way, and the interior, I'll just pan a little up so you can see how that plays out. You can see there it's all very matrixy in its design and the digital stuff there, and we lift off this here so we can see the ship and the ship stand inside. That's the glimpse I'm going to give you now. Because I'm going to pause while I take the ship out of the box, because that'll just be faff, because as you can see, it's quite hefty. And whilst I'm doing that, please drop a like to the video, and if you could, drop a subscription to the channel. It's completely free. There's no obligation to watch all the output at all. And it just really helps me, a very small channel, get to my next subscriber milestone. Entirely up to you. If you can, that's fantastic. If you can't, don't worry. I'm just glad to have you along for the ride. And in the meantime, let's get the Nebuchadnezzar out of the box and ready to look at. Okay, and here we have the Nebuchadnezzar out of the box and in its display stand. Folks, it is very impressive. It is extremely large, very hefty, so many fragile elements to it. I'm almost nervous to pick it up to show it to you. I will say there's no magazine included, and I couldn't find anywhere on the box that gave me a clue as to how best to use the stand. I will show you the stand in a second, and because it is literally, I'm not happy because I'm balancing it on the stand and I don't believe I'm doing it correctly, but we'll get to that. This is the Nebuchadnezzar out of the box. You can see it has all those sort of repulsor units around it that help it navigate and hover. I think that's also what fires the EMPs. You can see the heavy artillery there. On the front, there's more artillery. I think it's artillery here. The surface detailing is absolutely incredible. Look at all those spikes or antenna that come off the back of it there. As we move, I'll move it to try and get all of this rear section in shot there. I mean, you can just see, can't you, all of that fantastic detailing. There's, again, rear artillery here, all of these spines. I'm gonna again give an opportunity. I don't know if you can see there's more artillery built into the sides there, little gun emplacements. There is, I don't know if it's showing up on the camera. I'll try and zoom in a little bit more, but all of these have got red tips. They've all got They've all got red tips that look in hand a lot like lighting. I'll leave it this zoomed in so you can actually see all of the surface detail far better. You can see the little gun emplacements here, those spikes, and the spikes are all the way along the hull, all the way along the hull. I'll get it in hand and we'll get a close-up look, but let's see some more of that surface detailing nice and up close here. You can, I mean, these spikes are everywhere. It's this, I'll be perfectly honest, it's screaming out to be damaged, and I'm sure that's not by design. But the point I would make here is, before I pick it up and get it in hand, do bear in mind that these things are, they're very detailed models, but they're not toys in the truest sense, so they won't stand up to robust play. They do need to be looked after, and they do need to be handled with care. Again, I can say that to you. You probably know that's only too true. There will be those out there who do not handle it with care, and they will lose some of these, they will lose some of the spines, and that will, quite frankly, make these far more sought after intact in the future. I'm not suggesting it's a pension plan, but you know, this is a really, really nice and well detailed craft. Let me pick it up off the base, and the first thing I'll do is show you the base. So you've got quite a nice wide cradle here, but you'll see, looking under here, and we'll look at the detail in a minute, there is no obvious place, I'll be very gentle as I do this, to attach this. So it has to literally sit. The only place where it sits and doesn't collide with anything is like this. So alongside the top of those little sections there, and then similarly at the back, just past the last of those. That's where it naturally sits. But yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one for those very reasons. Right, so let's get a nice look at the front. I can maneuver it a bit more now. You can see under here that lovely additional gold detailing. More guns here, more prongs that are screaming to be damaged. The paint applications here are really good. They're really good. I'm really, really impressed with what we're seeing here. Really am. Just looking at I'm trying to get it head on for you so you can get a nice head on view. So there's the artillery, there's the underside. There's just so many of these. There's so many of these prongs, etc. I'm just convinced I'm going to tap one and it'll fall off, or I'll snap it. But what a beautiful, beautiful design. Yeah, so let me turn it fully over so we can have a nice look at the underside and the detailing there. So I know we're coming from the rear. So there's the view of the rear there. Let's pick it up and go for along there. So there's another gun emplacement there. If I tilt it, you get a bit more sense from the light. Those two fins there. I mean, it's just so beautifully crafted. It's not particularly heavy. I mean, you can see how big it is. These are my two hands, and it takes the full. It's over the full span of them practically to hold it up. But I think that you can see there the surface detailing is absolutely divine, and I'm just trying to be so careful with my fingers so I don't damage anything. But look at that. That's quite imposing. You see that coming towards you, you're going to know about it, aren't you? That is a very, very imposing ship. Well, hovercraft. It's a very, very imposing, heavily fortified hovercraft. And there's just so much detail to take in. And then again, there's those individual gun emplacements there on the rear. Normally I'd use some sort of, when I do the photographic element of this for the end of the video, I would get to take it somewhere else to do the shot. But I think because of the because of the fragility of it, I think I'll just try and do the shots possibly in here and maybe just get some different lighting to give it that subaquatic sense. But honest to goodness, it really is, from all angles, a phenomenal build. It really is. I can't impress upon you enough quite how fantastic this model is. And it's so hefty. It's so hefty visually, I should clarify that. Holding it, it isn't particularly weighty. So if there is any die cast in there, and maybe it is blended within it, but if there is, it's not apparent. It doesn't have that kind of weight to it. And that's in some ways probably a good thing, because you're not going to sort of suddenly pick it up and go, oh, that's heavy, and drop it. On the other hand, it could almost do with some, at the very least, midway through, just to help give it that centre of gravity to hold it. Because again, I'm very mindful, very, very mindful, that whilst it is on this stand, I just feel it could very easily be knocked off, and it could very easily fall. And that would be absolutely heartbreaking. Really, it really would. It really would. But I love this. I think Master Replicas have done a phenomenal job reproducing this. It's actually making me want to rewatch the films just so I can see it in action, because it is absolutely a gorgeous, gorgeous ship, and a really gorgeous model. And you see, it's when they pull things out like this that you think, wow, this gives me a lot of confidence and a lot of faith in your upcoming releases and your upcoming projects. Because to be honest, my expectations of this were probably that it would be half as long, or maybe 2/3 as long as it is. I don't think I expected it to be this big. I have to rethink how I'm gonna display it, because where I thought I was going to display it won't work now, because it's just too darn big. But yeah, I'm really impressed with it. So I'm not sure what your personal preferences are around models. And there may have been, that I'm not aware of, toy versions of this released in the past, and if so, well, that's lovely. This is most definitely not a toy version. This is a display model. But what do you think? Does this model of the Nebuchadnezzar deserve a slot on your display shelf? Do let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you think of it. Again, I haven't made any kind of critical studies of the vessel in the film, so I can't make a 100% commitment to it being completely screen accurate. I mean, it feels like it's screen accurate, but I dare say there'll be some entrepreneurs, some Matrix experts who will be able to say where it is or isn't quite as screen accurate as I'm feeling that it is. And if that's the case, feel free to let me know down in the comments below, because I would like, obviously, people to be aware of that. But as a standalone, if you take away the element of how screen accurate it is, because let's be honest, a lot of models do vary in their array of quality around being screen accurate. I think what they have produced here, against what they haven't produced, is phenomenal. It really reads as hefty, dangerous, and phenomenal. So yeah, if this is something that you think you might feel would enhance your collection of movie ships or whatever kind of collection you have, then my recommendation would be pick it up before it's no longer available. That would be my recommendation, or before you end up having to go to the secondary market and pay secondary market prices. So yeah, as I said, please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. That would be much appreciated. You've been a fantastic audience for the last 15 or so minutes. I've been the Triple TC, that is the time traveling toy collector, and this has been the Nebuchadnezzar from the Matrix film series, as produced here by Master Replicas. I very much look forward to seeing you again, of course, in a future video, or indeed in a past video. And it just remains for me to say that a thing of beauty really is a toy forever. Take care. Bye-bye for now.